Right, hi guys, Max here again. I thought to do a quick behind the scenes video about the video I posted yesterday on how I automate my own outreach. I went into a little bit on the app that I made on OutSystems and how I've built an app which is essentially a light version of Instantly. So it allows for tailored automated email outreach. Um, And I just thought today, for any of those people, for any of you guys that are interested in just how I built the application, what's gone into it, etc. So if you're not bothered about the development of this at all, then yeah, don't worry about watching this. But yeah, so we'll jump straight in. So I'm on my PC now. This is my work computer, and yeah, I'll just jump into what OutSystems is like. And I'm not going to go through all the just nit bits of OutSystems, but I'll just go through generally the logic of what's actually working behind the scenes when you're doing the email sequencing and stuff like that. So I've got three modules here. I've got a data module, which is where I've got my data entities. I've got core, where this is where I have all my business logic, and then the automated outreach is the front end, where we've got the front end stuff going on. So I'll start with the data. We have got three standard entities. We've got the email scripts. So yeah, just to save all the email scripts. We have the email launch sequences, which has a lot of the variables here that you could see listed on that in that data table. And then we have the email launch sequence lead. And so these are the leads which are going to be emailed within each launch sequence. Now we have to save these. Originally, I didn't plan to save these to the database, but we actually have to save them to the database. But yeah, and then we got three static entities here. We got the email launch sequence status, so just in progress, complete or error. The email type, so these are my email types, and then email senders are my two emails there. So that's essentially it from the data table. And then we have just some CRUD actions, create update. And then now we jump into the core. So essentially, or maybe it's best we look at this from the front end. So you put your file up here, it will import, and then it will load up your leads. And then you come down here, you choose your sender, you choose your email type, and then the preview comes up here. And then down here you have the button, which is launch email sequence. So then you have on launch email sequence, which starts this bit of logic here, email sequence initiated. So if we go in here, what happens first is that we save the sort of skeleton, if you like, email launch sequence to the data table. And then what we do is we loop through the leads which we imported and we save those each to the database. We need to do this because we're running a process, so we can't. Originally, I had built it in hopes that we didn't actually have to save any of the leads to the database. It just runs through them and emails them all. But the thing is, the process of verifying the emails and sending the emails out can often take longer than 60 seconds. And I didn't really want to buffer the server request timeout to longer than 60 seconds. So I've kept that at 60, but instead I'm saving the leads to the database, in which case it doesn't matter how long the process takes. We can just reference the database to get the data back. So that's why I did that. So we launched the email sequence, and we have the process here which gets launched. And inside the process, we are sending and processing the emails. So essentially here what happens is we have the timer start. So this is what calculates how long the actual whole process takes, which we then show in the table. So what we do is we gather the email launch sequence sort of skeleton which we saved, because we need to retrieve data from that. And then we also retrieve all of the leads that got saved in that launch sequence. And then essentially what we do is we just loop through all of the leads which we saved to the database for that one particular email launch sequence. We then check if it is an initial email. So obviously we don't really want to be verifying the email if it's not the first email. We don't, because this also has a cap of how many verifications you can do every day. So we don't want to be spamming that too much. We only really want to verify on the emails that we actually need to verify. So if it's an initial email, we go through and we verify. We do that using this API over here, IP Quality Score. This is a great free email validator. They have a cap of 200 email verifications per day using the API. So I'm only hitting half of that at the moment, which is great. So we can scale up to double what we're doing now, which is amazing. So if it's an initial email, we verify. If it's not deliverable, so if we get a false response or an undeliverable response from the verification, then we go down. We don't send an email, of course. We set certain variables to false, like has it been delivered successfully. We set that to false within the lead here, and then we save that. So now we've currently saved that this email lead was that didn't get verified. And we do this because then we can list it on the front end. So on the front end, we have in the email launch sequences, it shows you how many leads got sent successfully, how many didn't get sent successfully. And then for the ones that weren't successful, you can go in and actually view the data of all those leads which didn't get sent, because then you might need to either remove them from your data, your Excel spreadsheet, your leads sheet, or you might need to change their details or whatever. So in the case that it's true, then we come down here, and then so I have each one of these is for each of my senders. So I have my Max WL email here or my Max email here. So they're the same thing on repeat. They're just sent from different emails. So if supposing it's my Max email, we come down here, and then we choose. So depending on which email we're sending, so is it an initial email? Is it So, I mean, obviously in this case, if we've gone up here, then it's an initial email. So we'll be going down here. Then what this does is it grabs the email script for the initial email, and then we plug all of the relevant information into the Nylas post send API. So we have here what the content type is, what's the subject, the body, which is where we do all the replacing. So, I mean, this might look a bit like an eyesore, but essentially what we're doing here is we are making the correct replacement. So where we've got the squiggly brackets job title, we're replacing that with the job title, which we have saved in the database from. We're replacing that from the data that we get from the import lead spreadsheet. So we're just replacing all those variables in the email script. And this builds out the what's in the body of the email. So obviously we have the email script here, which has all of the script written out. In here we do all the replacements. We have then what my name is, what email it's being sent from, and then what name we're sending to and what email we're sending to. Again, that information we get from the leads that we imported, which we're looping around here. So for every lead that's here, we're doing a big loop. First person, second person, third person, etc. So that's it. And then that's it. So we send it, and we go down here, and then we go to the next person. And obviously for each email sequence, you only have one email type. So now suppose we're doing a follow-up, the second follow-up for a group of people. We would go up here, and suppose it's from this sender down here. Second follow-up is the initial email is false. So we go down here, we skip the verification. We then go down here because it's my Max WL email. And then what we do is we go to the email follow-up to, which follow-up to, there it is, condition 4. Condition 4, we grab the skipped for follow-up email 2. We plug it in here, and we do all the necessary replacements. So we're replacing the first name with the first name from the lead import. We're replacing the email previously sent on with the email previously sent on from the import and formatting it. We're replacing the niche from the niche. We're replacing the sender, which is my email down the bottom in the footer or in the signature, of the email. And that's essentially it, to be honest. And that's it. That's how that all works. And then again, on here, we've got the email sequences launched, which is where we list all the relevant information. We've got the different statuses. We've got which sender was launched. We have the detail that comes up for these are the leads which failed to get their emails failed to get delivered. And yeah, I mean, that is essentially it. It's a very simple app. I just wanted to show you a bit behind the scenes into OutSystems, and yeah, to be honest, it's great. I've been developing with it now for about 3 years. I work for a small startup, but it's really fantastic. It's really great to develop with, and it's amazing because it allows me to then build little tools like this for myself. I've built a couple projects in the past. Well, one other project. No, actually, a couple other projects, but this one has actually been good because it's something that I can apply myself and make good use of. So I've been doing that, and I've sent over like 400 or 500 emails with this so far, and it's been really good. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.